mRNA vaccination technology, it was a joint committee meeting with the Portfolio Committee on Health. I think it was a really great meeting. If colleagues are fine with the resolutions as presented, then I think we should be fine. There's this one particular matter that I have interest on. Yeah. Okay, I think there was a resolution that DSI, I don't know, on number 6 of the resolutions, to continue engaging in discussions with other committees with an emphasis of relationship building. Is that should we continue as the committee, or should the department continue? But I think there was also an agreement that that DSI should present to the Portfolio Committee on Health in the future on this matter, so that they can deal with it at that level. So I think if we can just add that to those minutes, that would be great. Honorable members, I will at the end allow for, so I'll go through all the minutes, and then at the end I'll allow for members to make amendments, inputs, etc., where they feel that they've not been adequately captured, and then we'll move for adoption and the seconding of the minutes. We then move to the 1st of June, where we dealt with migration of nursing and agriculture colleges, and as well as Agri-CETA and the health and welfare CETA. We also adopted or considered minutes on that particular day. The resolutions are as articulated all the way to page 6. And then we have the minutes on the 3rd of June, where we received a briefing. This was another massive joint committee meeting. I think all in all, we had about 7 or so committees in the meeting, and we were dealing with a briefing on the STI white paper and decadal plan, financial resources for science and innovation, and the STI budget coordination mechanisms. Colleagues will see again the resolutions as articulated there on page 4. I just hope, yeah, okay, we have indicated that we need to briefings with specific committees to elaborate on specific areas of interest as required. I think we had also outlined, some of, and I guess we can specify as we go. For example, we need to meet with health, we need to meet with human settlements. I think COGTA has been covered, but I think that one on human settlements is coming out really key. Mineral resources and energy, that's also really another committee that came out from those discussions to be a key committee that we need to meet with. So maybe if we can just add that to those resolutions on my side, we'd be fine. And then colleagues, on the 8th of June, 2022, we had a briefing by DHET on areas of common interest with the Department of Basic Education. It was supposed to be a joint committee meeting. However, due to unforeseen circumstances, we weren't able to be joined by the DBE component. So we said that we would have to, at a later stage, convene again with the DBE component in order for us to look into those areas of common interest. And those are the resolutions as stipulated on page 4. So honorable members, these are the 4 sets of minutes that we are due to consider and adopt this morning. Can I note hands that would want to entertain the minutes? Okay, don't think there's anyone who has amendments to make, additions, etc. So can I note hands that seek to move for the adoption of the minutes. Okay, Honorable Litsie.
Yeah, good morning, Chair. My name is Walter Letsie. I want to greet everybody on the platform, honorable members, and our capable team that we always work nicely with. I would like to move for the adoption of all sets of minutes, as I believe that they are a true reflection of what we discussed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Litsie. I hope you passed that exam yesterday. Yes,
Hey, no, but don't take me back there, please.
Thank you, Honorable Litsie, for adopting the minutes. Honorable Whip Mahlati.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning to yourself and all members on the platform. Chair, I hereby second the adoption of the minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Whip. Honorable members, therefore, the minutes on the 27th of May, 1st, 3rd, and 8th of June are adopted by Honorable Litsie and Honorable Mahlati. Thank you very much, colleagues. We can now move on to the reports, which are quite a number of them. On my side, the Nsf report, if we can just make the same amendments we made to the minutes in relation to the fact that there was a sentiment that we as a committee said we would review our posture on the need for the department to consider reviewing the organogram of NSF. We said we would put it on hold up until we get the report on the review process. So that particular view of ours, we said we would put it on pause until we receive the report on the review. So the forensic investigation into the NSF and the ministerial task team report on the review of the NSF. So yeah, right. So I don't see that coming out quite strongly in the report. And I think we had made a similar amendment in the minutes of the day. So if colleagues could just assist us with that, I think one should be okay. I'd like to then, that's the only perhaps the colleagues we have. So maybe let me just say, we have the report from NSF on the NSF and LGCTA strategic plan, the plans and their APPs, right? I think we dealt with this. Sorry, I can't see a date here. On the 4th of May. And then we have the report of the DSI, where we considered the financial and non-financial performance of the 2021-2022 second and third quarters of the DSI. I think we did this on the 4th of March, 2022. And then we have the report on the colloquium, which we held on the 29th of March, 2022. Then we have the CGE report that we dealt with on the 16th of March, 2022. And then we have the report on the 2021-2022 second and third quarter performance and expenditure reports of the department. When they were presented to us, they were presented to us on the 4th of March. Okay, so honorable members, those are the sets of reports that we have. I don't know if there are any amendments, additions, etc., that members would like to make to the reports. Can I note hands? Okay, there are 2 hands. Honorable Mahlati. Okay, I don't know if that's a legacy hand. Honorable Mananiso, I think your hand is new.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson, and good morning. One would want to adopt the reports as a true reflection of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mananiso. I was still asking if there are colleagues who would like to make any particular changes to the reports, amendments and so forth, but I note your hand is adopting. I just would like to emphasize the importance. Okay. All right.
Chairperson,
It's fine. Honorable Mahlatsi.
thank you very much, Chair, and apologies for not lowering my hand earlier, but now I've got an input in as far as the colloquium report. If there could be an emphasis, if there could be an emphasis on the colloquium report, that the colloquium took a resolution that there's a need for a second bite of the colloquium where we are taking the discussion further. If that particular resolution can just be emphasized on the report, because I did not see it being reflected extensively. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mahlatsi. In fact, that is exactly what I was about to comment on, but in the resolutions, that we're not very clear in the resolutions that there will be that part 2 of the colloquium. And I think, honorable members, before we adopt these reports, I need to indicate a concern from my side. There are, and Memodiba and Anele, this is a concern primarily in DHET, where we commit as a committee, and these are some of the issues we will discuss during the workshop, where we agree as a committee or commit as a committee that we will meet with particular entities quarterly to follow up on them, or we will go to a particular entity. And yes, COVID has made it a bit difficult for us to meet some of these commitments, but also the nature of our committee having contentious issues to deal with, ever evolving contentious issues to deal with every quarter, means that sometimes we don't necessarily meet our end of the stick in terms of commitments. So we don't meet our own commitments when we say we want to go visit X institution in the next what months, or we want to every quarter, and I think we need to be wary of that, because that reflects on our performance as a committee. And so be wary of how we make those commitments. So for example, we don't necessarily have to meet. It's one thing to resolve that we need to meet with X entity quarterly, and it's another to say we need to receive an update on the state of that entity quarterly, because then, we need to consider our capacity given the timeframes that we work within. For example, we had said ideally in the next term we should be having part 2 of the colloquium. But when you look at how the parliamentary program is drafted, it sometimes makes it so difficult for us to, create another opportunity for a follow-up engagement on that. We've resolved, for example, that we need to have, what do you call this? We need to have colloquiums on transformation, on gender issues in the sector, on decolonizing higher education. I think there's a number of colloquiums we said we must have. So I think we need to, it's an area of concern when you look into how we resolve on certain matters as a committee. But definitely in our engagements during the colloquium on institutional autonomy, we resolved that there will be a need for us to expand this engagement for other stakeholders who don't exist within an organized body that may have presented in part one to then present in part two. So definitely work. I saw that is something that is not coming out strongly in the resolutions. So that's about it, I guess, on that matter. Memudiba, Agnetha, and Anele. I would then want to note Honorable Litzia's hand.
Yes, good morning once again to honorable members. Chair, I was also going to make the addition that on the recommendation with the resolve that there's a need for a second bite on the institutional autonomy colloquium. And with that change, I was going to second the move by Honorable Mananiso to adopt all the reports. Thank you very much. I'm trying to be sophisticated, speaking soft and all of that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Litzie. Thank you very much, Honorable Mananiso, Honorable Mahlatsi, and Honorable Litzie. Honorable members, given the inputs from Honorable Mahlatsi, Honorable Litzie, and myself to form part of the resolutions, Honorable Mananiso has moved for the adoption of the reports, and Honorable Litzie has seconded the adoption of those reports. That is about it. I hope, honorable members, on the minutes and the reports. Just a few announcements. Firstly, there's a request that can we please make our submissions on the Mbati report during this recess. I think we owe members a time frame as to by when they must have done that. So that will be communicated to yourselves via email and WhatsApp. Apologies for us not sending you that time frame. And then we will be having a workshop to look into the work we've done as a committee in the last couple of years, and to then look into what becomes urgent for us to focus and prioritize moving forward. We had to shift this workshop, honorable members. I know it's worked in the favor of Honorable Boshoff, as he gets to be a good father and accompany his daughter to the orthodontist. But we've had to shift it not only for Honorable Boshoff, but we know Honorable Litzie is also writing during that period, but also we felt that we need to allow the departments and the committee staff a bit more time to plan, so that the workshop can be as impactful as possible, and have the desired outcomes that we wish, so that it also isn't just a tick box exercise that we did this and that is that, but that it is as that it bears fruit to ensuring that we as a committee can play the necessary role effectively that we need to be playing in bettering the two sectors that we are accountable for. So that will be happening in July. So the workshop has been moved to July, honorable members. I would also perhaps want to suggest that if there are any key matters that colleagues feel, that members feel they would like to be discussed maybe in that type of platform of a workshop, I don't know, you can call it a workshop, a boss parade, a strat plan, whatever we want to call it. Please do submit those matters to the Secretariat within the next week. So I think that would be sufficient time. So within the next week, if you can do that, that would be really appreciated. Otherwise, I don't have anything else really on my side. The draft committee program will come out quite soon. And really want to thank members for your support this term. I think we've managed and attempted to really try our best to fulfill the duties that we are tasked with. And one really appreciates the support that one gets. as the chair of the committee, but I think collectively as the committee ManCo, we really appreciate members' commitment to the work that we do. I hope I cover, Anele says him and Shanaza, the CEOs of the committee. So I hope I cover yourself as well, colleagues from the committee secretariat. I also really want to thank the committee staff for their support. I think we have really one of the greatest teams, always making sure we're prepared for the work that we are tasked to do. And we really appreciate the support that you give us. I don't know if there's any other matter that members would like to raise. Also, we note that there's days we've had to miss due to the structure of the parliamentary program, where plenaries were sitting on a Friday, and we've therefore sat on a Friday afternoon. And yes, it is your job, members, but and you ought to do your job. But I want to believe there are people who sometimes don't understand what their job is and would not commit themselves in the manner in which you've committed. And so we want to, other people say you mustn't compliment a fish for swimming, but I want to appreciate that members have been committed, and don't look at the committee program and say, you're on a Friday. Members say, okay, we'll be there on a Friday. So I really want to thank you for that, members. Honorable Etienne.
Yes, ma'am. Can I continue in my sophisticated tone?
Continue, Honorable Etienne.
No, thank you very much. I thought maybe because probably it's the last time we're meeting this term, you guys would give us a breakdown or report on how far you with our international study tour preparations, and the possible dates and all of that, so that we are on the same page. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Etienne. In fact, on that one, I want to hand over to Anele, but I know that there is a component of that in the workshop that we are due to have in July, where colleagues will take us through the work they're doing on that. But I will hand over to Anele towards the end. Can I check if there are any other, anything else members would like to say before we close?
No, in July, we don't want, in the workshop, we don't want them to tell us what work they must announce where we're going in July. I think maybe just they must change their planning. In July, we don't want to be engaged on possibilities. We want to be told where we're going. That's an addition. Thanks.
Okay, noted, Honorable Etienne. Anele, Shanaz, Tanuklolo, Nieva. In July, we must receive an announcement on where we are going. Honorable Etienne, we are noting that, and we'll work very hard to make sure that we can provide concrete, solid plans on where to in July. I'm seeing that there are members who don't want to say anything. Honorable Boshoff, you're fine. Honorable Whip, you're fine. Honorable Tambo.
No, thank you very much.
Yes.
We'd like to concur with Honorable Letsie. We need to know where we're going. It's going to be very critical to us to be able to engage in such a program. Thank you very much.
Okay, noted, Honorable Tambo.
Leadership.
You guys have caucused this one. I feel like you've caucused this one. No, Honorable Tambo, noted. Honorable Boshoff, you also want to support the announcement.
Yeah, now I just want to say thank you very much, and it makes it easier, and we'll be there to do our job.
Okay. All right. Okay, honorable members, I think we're fine. Honorable Mahlatsi.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'm solid. Thank you.
Okay. Honorable Makesi. Okay, we believe the DA is also fine.
No, we're going to leave her. Makesi, we're going to leave her.
We're going to leave her behind.
Yeah, she has network issues, so she must deal with that here at home.
Okay. Can I just check from the committee staff if there's anything colleagues would like to say before I close the meeting? I'm only allowing this because the last meeting that we're having, and you know, perhaps there's something that colleagues would like to say. Shanaz?
Okay, Chair. So we note the proposals for the international trip, and we'll come back with something solid soon. The other thing, just on the committee program, we are set for discussion later on, but just for the members who are also serving other committees, because that committee period has been reduced to 1 week. So normally there's 2 weeks when we come back. So I think the 1 week is now going to be for member training. So there's going to be 1 week that we can use for committee period. That is obviously like an oversight period. For many committees will use it. So members must just see how they going to prioritize, because our committee is like a double portfolio, so we need that whole week. So I'm not sure if they service other committees. So it's just something to think about before the time.
Okay. Thank you very much, Shanaz. Anela, you're covered.
No, thank you very much, Chair. I'm covered. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you so much, honorable members and colleagues, for your time. We wish you I don't know if members really rest during constituency period, because I think we all become so busy in our constituencies, but I hope in between all of that, you will find time to rest, recuperate, realign yourselves, and come back rejuvenated to do this important work that we are tasked to do by citizens of this country. Thank you so much for your support, and I wish you a good constituency period, a good recess, I guess. Thank you so much. This meeting has come to an end.
Long live the chair.